The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. It is 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us on a Friday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Elena Rusk.
Turning now to that breaking news from overnight. All southbound lanes of I-5 through the Grapevine are back open as crews have stopped forward progress of yet another wildfire. The Edmonston fire starting just after 7 o'clock last night at the base of the Grapevine. You can see there the fire line on the mountain with charred brush behind it. 2 southbound lanes of the freeway were closed as crews were battling the flames, but they were able to stop forward progress within a few hours. That fire burned about 10 acres.
And an update on that other fire burning west of Interstate 5 near Frazier Park. The Takuya fire started Wednesday morning. Firefighters responded along with crews along from other agencies. The fire has burned about 50 acres and it's 50% contained.
And turning now to our 17 follow-up file, we could soon learn more about the future of a former Bakersfield man being detained in Russia. You may remember back in June, musician and West High alum Travis Leak was detained in Russia on drug charges. Many are questioning if this detention is wrongful. During his first arraignment, Russian state media shared a video of Leak, who appeared to be confused, saying he didn't know what he was being accused of. There have been no updates from the U.S. State Department since then. But this Sunday, Leak's pretrial custody is set to end, meaning we could learn more about his future. This comes as tensions are high between Russia and the U.S., the State Department working on freeing other Americans who they have declared to be wrongfully detained.
Well, what would you say if I told you the government was about to start dictating the type of appliances you're permitted to have in your home? That the government was about to start telling you how you may or may not prepare your family's meals. It's true. Why? Blame climate change. 17's Robert Price has the story.
Humans have been cooking over fire for literally a million years. Only in the last 200 years or so have we truly tamed the flame. And now gas stoves are almost universal. But the era of the gas stove may be coming to an end in California, and yes, even here in Bakersfield.
At the urging of California's climate change conscious government, hundreds of municipalities across the state have adopted climate action plans, and Bakersfield is in the midst of joining them. The idea? Prepare now for increasing temperatures, periods of near monsoon, and generally volatile weather, or be ambushed by it. This is Bakersfield's Climate Action Plan. Last year, Bakersfield city officials asked the public what they thought about that plan, including whether they can manage that stir-fry on an electric cooktop. The U.S. is playing a leading role in global efforts to address climate change, and among U.S. states, California sets the pace with ambitious standards designed to reverse the planet-heating effects of greenhouse gases. Now, increasingly, individual cities are getting into the act as well. Bakersfield's Climate Action Plan is a 108-page document that foresees a challenging future of escalating temperatures, unpredictable precipitation patterns that could produce floods or drought, and among the most concerning issues, an ongoing pervasive layer of wildfire smoke that could cast an unhealthy haze over the Southern Valley for months at a time, exacerbating our already dangerous air quality. That's one of the many consequences of wetter winters. An additional rainfall will promote more vegetation growth, and when the heat rolls in, will encourage more wildfires across the state. But the plan offers proposed solutions, too. Lots of them, including some that could inspire controversy. The most dramatic of those, a gradual end to natural gas-fueled cooktops, water heaters, clothes dryers, and furnace systems in favor of more expensive electric versions. The switch to all-electric everything in new construction could go into effect after 2025 if the city's climate action plan is implemented as now drafted. Less controversially, but life-altering just the same, the plan calls for many more electric car charging stations, more attention to bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, and more of an overall urban tree canopy. All strategies to prepare Bakersfield for temperature increases of up to 8 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. That could push Bakersfield's summertime high temperature into the 125-degree range.
You can read the plan at bakersfieldcity.us. Just go to the search window and type in Climate Action Plan. In Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
Making news around the state, California Governor Gavin Newsom and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis could soon take their ongoing public feud to the debate stage, each now expressing interest in debating the other. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace shares the formal debate offer that Newsom sent to DeSantis and what DeSantis is saying.
Ron DeSantis sits there claiming this freedom gospel?
Leadership matters. They are doing it wrong here. No wonder why we've had so many people move from San Francisco to Florida.
They have not shied away from attacking one another. And now California Governor Democrat Gavin Newsom and Florida Governor Republican presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis say they are interested in a formal Newsom-DeSantis in-person debate. A Newsom campaign spokesperson confirms the Newsom team sent Fox News Channel this 3-page letter proposing just how such a debate would work. First, Newsom is calling for the debate to air live this November on Fox News, moderated by conservative political commentator Sean Hannity. Per Newsom's proposal, the debate would last 90 minutes with no live audience and no notes allowed for either candidate. Each would be allowed 90 seconds to answer questions and another 90 seconds to respond to the other candidate's answers. In a statement, a Newsom spokesperson said Governor Newsom has been challenging DeSantis to debate for months. DeSantis should put up or shut up. Anything else is just games. And during an interview with Hannity on Wednesday, DeSantis said he is interested, later writing this on Twitter, quote, "The debate about the future of our country is one we need to have. I'm game to talk about my plans to reverse the decline in this country anytime, anywhere, because I have the best vision for the future of our country."
This is probably good for both of them in the sense that they both want a higher national profile.
Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson.
I don't think that a lot of independent voters will be swayed one way or another. But I think this is a way of trying to shore up support. Governor Newsom is not running for president, but he's running this kind of shadow national campaign where he wants to continue to be a national figure. Governor DeSantis is flagging in the polls, and he is running for president. So I think for both of them to be elevated to this point where they're having a debate that many of us are anticipating on national TV is probably a win.
And important to note, this is just a proposal. A time, date, location, and importantly, a formal agreement still need to be worked out. We will keep you posted. Reporting from Sacramento, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
17 Court Watch this morning. A Bakersfield man accused of exposing himself to a teenage girl appeared in front of a judge. 60-year-old Sukhbinder Singh pleaded not guilty to charges of indecent exposure and contacting a minor to commit a felony. Police say Sukhbinder was arrested Tuesday night after he offered a 16-year-old girl money for sex and exposed himself to her in South Bakersfield. He's due back in court on August 15th.
And while former President Donald Trump back at his New Jersey home after being arraigned and arrested at the nation's capital yesterday, Trump pleading not guilty to several felonies related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. Here's NBC's Bree Jackson.
Former President Donald Trump pleading not guilty to charges related to efforts to overturn 2020 election results.
This was never supposed to happen in America.
Trump stood before the judge facing 4 criminal counts, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Prosecutors argue he schemed to keep himself in power after losing the 2020 election. The current GOP frontrunner claims, without evidence, that the case is an effort to interfere with his chances of winning the 2024 presidential race.
So if you can't beat him, you persecute him or you prosecute him.
Some of the officers who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6 attended Thursday's arraignment.
Most of the witnesses that have been corroborating all these action or inaction on that he did or didn't do had been Republican themselves.
Republican candidates are weighing in.
I do think that on this same set of facts, anyone not named Trump would not have been indicted.
But also reflects the seriousness of the issue the voters have to face in 2024.
Voters are divided.
For them to nitpick him to death is a crime against our country.
I would like to see my party open their eyes to see what's going on, to cut ties with him and move forward with other candidates.
If convicted, the charges could lead to a lengthy prison sentence for the former president. And in all, former President Trump has been hit with 78 felony counts in 3 separate cases. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was questioned about former President Trump facing the new charges, and McCarthy said he didn't watch the coverage of the court proceedings, but he got very emotional when asked about Trump, who still claims the 2020 election was stolen.
You're entitled to question whether it was honest or not. That's the uniqueness of the First Amendment. That's the uniqueness of America. But you know what? You shouldn't be prosecuted for your thoughts. And the difference here is when Hillary Clinton said it, nothing happened to her. When they said it in Georgia's election, nothing happened to them either. You know what? When the DNC said it, nothing happened to them either. So stop using government to go after people who politically disagree with you. That is wrong, and that should stop now.
McCarthy says he believes the timing of the charges against Trump was political, as it comes after various revelations about Hunter Biden this week. And McCarthy went on to say it feels like there is a 2-tier justice system.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.